Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me for this short video on the importance of course evaluations and your feedback as a student. So, I wanted to just provide you with just a quick video on your course evaluations as I get ready to send out course evaluation reminders the last couple of days or at the beginning of when your course evaluations open. You typically receive your course evaluations at the end of your semester or at the end of your course. We do not see any of this feedback until after the course is closed and your grades have been provided. And so I've had that question before. So I wanted to just answer a couple of questions and provide a little bit more context for the course evaluations and how important they are. Your feedback matters. If you don't understand it, others might not either. And so making sure that you ask key questions, or if you don't understand something, get an understanding from it, and your instructor is the best way to do that. A lot of times when things are written, say in your syllabus or even in your class materials and everything, it may not be as clear, or you may need more context. And so your instructor is there to provide that. It also provides enhanced learning experiences for you and the instructor. Course materials plus the content, whether it's online or face to face or in lecture form or however that looks, in including the content and instructor directly correlates or relates to your success in social work. And so that enhanced learning experiences includes all of those pieces. Course updates and improvements. It also is very valuable to that. That's what I utilize to prep my courses, and some of them sometimes are the same courses for the next semester. So course updates and improvements, that's also for those. Ensure students have the most updated information, knowledge, and skills that are needed. The questions that you ask or the feedback that you provide on your course evaluations is very, very important. I also sometimes will include, especially through the semester, if I haven't taught that class in a while, I will like mid-semester also ask you, and it typically is extra credit for feedback for your feedback throughout the semester. Or if it's a new class and it's just been developed, I may even ask for specifics around, are there any links that are broken? Is it accessible to everyone? And so your individual feedback, course evaluations you do individually. It doesn't matter if you completed an assignment or your major, your signature assignments as a group or individually. Everyone for the course evaluations does it individually, and it's your individual voice. We don't even see, as instructors, we just see the results. We do not see what student said this or what student said that. So please, please, please provide whatever feedback, because it helps us to look at the courses and improve the courses throughout. And so that's very important. And then also, it's part of our performance reviews as instructors. We all get a yearly annual performance review, and our especially teaching faculty, that is a very your feedback is very, very important. So there are some key questions that we ask throughout the course evaluations. There are several sections, 3 or 4 sections. I haven't looked at them in a while, but when I created this, we haven't changed the formatting or making it clear that this is the instructor part, this is the course part. But overall, you're going to be asked to rate the pace of the course, rate the workload required for the course, if you acquired knowledge that will be useful in your future, if if you acquired skills that will also be useful in your future, can you apply the course concepts into new contexts? So, as you go out to practice, or as you think about practicing, or if you're currently practicing, can you apply the course concepts, what you learned in the course, to new contexts, to new problems, to new things that you will be working on as part of your career? And have you become a better thinker or problem solver as part of this course? Did it challenge you? Were you able to learn some key things, or even some key things that you may not use immediately, right, in your career, because you may have just different classes that teach you different things. And so, did it help you to become a better thinker or problem solver? Did it help you to become successful in your next stage of your educational and your career journey? So here are some key questions that I really pay attention to, just because they are rating me as a professor and asking you to provide feedback that informs improvements, such as, do you strongly agree? And it's on a scale of strongly agree to, it's a Likert scale of strongly agree to strongly disagree. And here are some key areas. The instructor clearly defined and explained the course objectives and expectations. That's usually done within my syllabus review. That's how I take care of it. And then throughout the semester, I also have, if it's an asynchronous course online, I have weekly or bi-weekly, typically bi-weekly at the beginning, and then we may do it less often in the second part of the semester, or the middle and second part and the final part of the semester, just because it's really information overload at the beginning, just really getting you kind of oriented. It's kind of like an onboarding process to get you oriented to that. They're recorded, so you don't have to attend because it's an asynchronous course. There's a reason why you chose an online course. And so those weekly, or whether you attend or not, I typically will record the meeting, the question answers and the lecture part of it, or a review of the assignment or whatever it is. I typically will record them. Everyone knows that they're recorded. And they ask some key questions a lot of times when you attend, when if you're able to attend face to face. The instructor was prepared for each instructional activity. And so we do activities. I'm very much a visual learner, and a visual professor, in that I try to provide activities that support whatever it is that you're learning. I use a flipped classroom, and so we do not read or review all of the materials in the classroom. As I know, there's a reason why you chose an online class, or even in in my face-to-face classes, we come in and do more open discussion. We may review key concepts from the chapters, or chapters that are part of your readings. But it's really gives you the autonomy from my perspective as a professor, to really give you the autonomy in getting the reading done, but doing it in, as you have your other responsibilities also. The instructor communicated information effectively. The instructor encouraged me to take an active role in my own learning. The instructor was available to students either electronically or in person. And so those are some key areas or key questions around my engagement with you, that's very, very important, and helps me to really hone my skills, and to improve on my information or lecture or any of that information, or even just really keeping in contact and giving you that support that you need throughout the semester. Direct feedback, really ask about, and this is direct feedback from you, are what attributes of the course or the professor helped you learn the materials. When the course is next taught, what should be done in the same way, in addition to what should be done differently. Okay. Valuable. So I really wanted to feedback, feedback, feedback. We talk about that. And so I really wanted to just provide you with the type of feedback that is very constructive feedback for me. And I know I've talked to a lot of colleagues in professors in higher ed and in schools, K through 12 schools also, and just feedback and how we can reflect on that feedback of your and make something better, right? So, feedback is your communication to your instructor, between you and your instructor, really. The feedback goes both ways, whether it's me grading an assignment or giving you feedback on a discussion. Most of my assignments are scaffold, and because they're scaffold, you are building on your signature assignment throughout the semester. So your feedback should be specific, timely, actionable, goal-oriented, constructive, descriptive, providing descriptions. I know that some of my feedback to you all in certain with certain assignments is more comprehensive than others that may be for a discussion that you're discussing on what your topic is. It's you really, and I really give my students a lot of autonomy in choosing their own topics. We have a concept, or we have um, really the structure of it, but you really get to decide what you want to study or what your area of interest is. Balance focused on behavior, not on personality traits. Um, I'm a very upbeat professor, and that may be sometimes too much for others that may not be used to that, or you're used to a certain type of professor, and I've been told I'm not that. Continuous, honest, and focused on building on strengths. I'm a very strength-based solution focused type of professor in that we're going to pull out your strengths because we all have them. One of the key things that I add to, if you're in my if you and you're in my class, if you're watching this video, if you've had my classes, one of the key things that I ask is what are your superpowers as part of the instructions. Just because we all have superpowers, there's a reason why you chose social work, and to come into that profession. Feedback loops are also continuous improvements for both the instructor and the students. I'm not going to go over this, but you can see here this graphic that's here, but also here some of the benefits. It increases student understanding, it fosters self directed learning and ownership and responsibility for your learning process. It increases engagement in the learning, in your engagement in the learning process. It also provides introspection of practice and continuous improvement plan for me as an instructor. It's also data-driven instruction to meet the needs of every student. It improves communication and collaboration between myself and my students, and it creates engaged learning spaces. Really being able to provide feedback, provide that not only information to you, but what it looks like, and providing some examples from my previous current and previous work. So, principles of constructive feedback. This used to say criticism. I like the word feedback better, but here are some specific areas, six specific areas. And some of this is AI generated materials and everything. And I do encourage that in the classroom because that is what's here now and what you're going to be practicing when you get out there. And so, to give you that edge, I want to make sure that we utilize it, but we utilize it ethically. We utilize AI ethically. But here are some principles, key principles of constructive feedback. Be specific, focus on the behavior, not the person, them not personal attacks, but focus on the behaviors that you're trying to change. And we utilize that with in social work education throughout. We use I statements. I feel that the presentation could benefit from more visual aids. I may also say consider utilizing more visual aids, or instead of saying you didn't use enough visuals, giving you some direction, giving you something that's specific and actionable. I also, in some of your, especially your major assignments that really build or help you to develop your signature assignments, I will also offer some suggestions on online resources or an article that I've read that I will share also as part of my feedback. Offer solutions, suggest things that consider using project management software to track progress and set realistic deadlines, or consider this again. Offer some solutions. We have so many challenges and barriers and things like that. And so offering some viable solutions or examples may help students to be successful and to incorporate in your practice model. Be empathetic, show understanding and support. Always, I try to always do that, and balance positive and negative feedback. Some utilizes the sandwich method in providing positive feedback, constructive feedback, and then another positive comment to wrap it up. I always try to provide, especially throughout the semester, if I see, that you didn't have a complete understanding of the assignment, I will offer for minimal points deducted, just because I try to be fair. You can't make the same grade or the same amount of points that someone who turned in on the due date. So I do provide that, but we also discuss that throughout the semester and most definitely in the syllabus review. Strategies for giving constructive feedback: prepare your feedback first and foremost. And don't prepare your feedback when you're upset. If you're upset about a grade or something like that, or if you're upset about something that has nothing to do with your assignment, but it adds to your frustration. Because you have a busy life, or life is, doing its thing, and you have other responsibilities and everything, and you get a lower grade than you were expecting. You having that disappointment. It's okay to be disappointed, but right, prepare your feedback after giving it a beat. Okay, so think about, really process your grade and everything. Look over your work, and if you feel like that it's unfair or it was graded wrong, that's okay. We all make mistakes, including us as your instructors. So make sure that you prepare your feedback, and it's constructive and it's specific, and it's not guided by your emotions or your frustration that you may feel at the time. Choose the right time and place. Again, that's if you've been busy all day, you've been frustrated all day, and you have other responsibilities and everything, take a beat. And then give the feedback, and while you're reflecting and kind of reviewing it, give time to review it to see if the feedback is, when you really look at it, is it clear and concise? Does it encourage dialogue? Does it give you that information that you need to move forward? And then always follow up. Check in later, or I always, my students will send, well, thank you for that. It helped me to really improve that assignment, or improve it for the final assignment. And those different types of feedback that provides you with improvements. Again, remember, it's constructive feedback gives a chance for continuous improvement. And so we are not, and you all are not, no one's perfect. Okay. All right. And so when I do this presentation in class and not for a video, when I do it in class, we typically we discuss these. Typically before the semester is over, these are some things and examples and open discussion that we have as part of the class. When we may not get to all of them, but throughout the semester, we do talk about some of this, whether I talk about it individually, most definitely, and I also provide like grading feedback or grading reflections and feedback for the assignments because again, they're scaffold. And so because they're scaffold, they add to that final signature. So throughout the semester, you're building on that. And so I may, as I see throughout the grading and everything, provide some of these, or we discuss, or I provide concrete examples for these. And I also provide 85%, if I receive 85% class for each course, receive 85 or above response rate from the students, um, then everyone gets 5 additional points at the end, and that for some is very very important. And so again, making sure that you're communicating with your instructor throughout the semester. Try different ways, and if you can't reach the instructor, then you have advisors and others that you can talk to. And get feedback. Plus, the School of Social Work, UTA School of Social Work, has other resources like the Connections Lab, the Bridge, which is like a care team that if you need academic or non-academic resources, then we have a department for that. So your instructor, we're here as your instructors to help you be successful through each one of our courses and everything. And so your course evaluations helps to keep us accountable and make sure that we improve each semester with each of our student groups. So here are the references that I utilized for a lot of this. And like I said, AI generation was utilized for pieces of some of the information and graphics of the presentation. Thank you so very much, and thank you for a great semester and much continued success to you all.